Hi, I'm Rick Conlow. I am glad you're here. We're going to talk about probably one of the most important topics in business today, and that's employee engagement. And I believe in 100% employee engagement. In manufacturing, they have zero defects, meaning no defects per 99.99999% of the products. In fact, I've read some studies, and that's one defect per million parts produced. Some studies I've read now, the goal is one defect or less per billion parts produced. So that's all changing. Manufacturing is getting better and better, but it's unfortunately with our people we seem to be getting less effective, not better. And so we need to focus on 100% employee engagement. Worldwide, disengagement is 85%. That's a disaster. So how do you get there? Leadership is a high contact sport. Leadership engagement leads to employee engagement. If a manager or a leader is aloof to the team, unavailable, not interested, working from policies and procedures and a manual, has the door shut all the time, guess what? Disengagement is low. So we need to talk to our people. Yes, even in a pandemic, you can talk to them virtually. All the rules of people skills apply in terms of using technology, even though you're not there in person, in terms of how you communicate, how you relate, how you help. So leadership is a high contact sport. That means employees come first in the organization. The customers come second. The product comes second. Profits come second. All of those are less important than the people, because the people do the job that drives the use of the products, that creates the products, that makes the sales, that does the teamwork to make the operation run so it's profitable. See what I'm talking about? So if the employees aren't right, the business isn't right. So we need to focus on them first. And that's like speaking a foreign language to people today. They just don't get it. The managers don't get it because they're getting different things. They're not being taught that in MBA schools. They're taught the economics. They're not taught the detailed people skills. And we don't measure it like we measure various other parts of the business, so we know how it works. Now, certainly there's employee engagement surveys and those kinds of things, but employee engagement is not a survey and it's not an action plan. First, we have to have the value, a culture of high performance where people are golden, where people are first, where people are the kings and queens. Now, what do you do in order to create employee engagement? It's all the key leadership skills, emotional intelligence skills, personal competence, social competence, clear goals and expectations, training, communication, coaching, leadership flexibility, adjusting our style, recognition, promotions and incentives, doing a good job of hiring and know who you want, continuous improvement plans. All of that is what's important in terms of creating employee engagement. Here are a few of our clients' examples that shows that what I'm talking about works. And whether you're the CEO in the company or a VP or a department manager, you can have 100% engagement. That's your goal. If you come a little short and get 94%, wow, you're already better than everybody else. See what I'm talking about? I have a client in business services, an NPS score of 95%. That's the Net Promoter Score for customer ratings. The ENPS score is the employee engagement score of 69%. Good NPS scores are around 30 to 40%, so they're significantly better there. Average ENPS scores are around 10 to 15%, so they're beating them there. Another one in retail, 63% NPS, 61 NPS, and then others have won 48 different quality service awards. So it can be done. We can succeed. We can do better than what everybody else is talking about. That's what I'm getting at here. That's why I say 100% employee engagement. If we settle for anything less or shoot for anything less, we're going to be less. Employee engagement is a byproduct of trust, empowerment, and communication. So the actions I described earlier build a trusting relationship, because employee engagement is about the relationships inside the organization, not the reporting structures. And then the empowerment, getting input, asking for ideas, getting employees involved in solving programs. Then ongoing communication, formally, informally, text, virtual, in-person, training, team meetings, all of those different kinds of things needs to be positive and proactive. Now, it's been said that leadership is influence. I don't believe that. Why? Because some influence can be negative. And if your influence is negative, in my book, you're not a leader. You're doing it wrong. You're a bad boss. Leadership is positive influence, and then it drives what I've just talked about. So you can pull that all together to say give other people what you want or what they want, and you'll get what you want. Or help other people be successful, and you'll be successful. Notice who's first. Other people. It's an attitude of service. It's servant leadership at its core. That's what we need more in organization. So employee engagement then is a partnership. It's about how you treat people. If you treat them as winners, if you treat them as champions, if you treat them as high performers, that's how they'll act. If you treat them as peons, if you treat them as a number, if you treat them as human resources, they're not going to do it. If you treat them as partners, you're working hand in hand with them. You're building them up. You aren't beating them up. See what I'm talking about here? This is the difference. A manager has a title, but a leader has the team, and a leader does what I've been describing to get that highest level of employee engagement possible. And I believe the next revolution in leadership thought is about the power of people. Yes, use the technology. Yes, use the online resources to track things, to measure things, to try to get some engagement. But don't forget the personal contact. Don't forget how we engage people. Don't forget our relationship with people. And we need to get back to that. We need to change leadership thought and practice, and it's in process now. I thank you for coming, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.